Welcome and thank you. Testing 1, 2. Welcome and thank you so much for coming to tonight's concert. Our first piece that Concert Band is going to play is actually a collection of 3 folk dances from Brazil. So you'll hear 3 different movements, and it's just kind of fun to hear melodies that are very kind of worldly, and then also I think that the composer's done a pretty good job of taking a group and kind of a genre that is not like uniquely Brazil, but still infusing it with a lot of commonalities of Brazilian music in a pretty authentic way. So this is Brazilian Folk Dance Suite. Thank you so much. So the next piece that we're going to play actually comes to us from about like the 1600s. And Telemann, Johann Telemann wrote tons of music. His music is actually very, very similar to another contemporary of the time, which would actually be J.S. Bach. In fact, Telemann was probably more popular than Bach was, like in the actual time that they were alive. We didn't really realize the genius of Bach until after he had passed away. So this piece is a Telemann melody, but it's actually kind of put together by Wisconsin composer Larry Dane. And we've really worked as much as we can to kind of meld our sounds together and really kind of transform the sound of our band. And it opens with a flute solo. And like literally, probably for the last several weeks, maybe even a month, different students have been taking it. And somehow a game of rock, paper, scissors started to figure that out. And so I never really know who is going to do the flute solo, which is fine. And I don't know, like there might even be a game going on behind me. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's already happened. But there will be a flute that opens, and it's been a different student most days, which is kind of cool. Don't tell me. If you don't know, we have just a tremendous group of parents that work with us as our band boosters. They do work throughout the year. They're supporting literally every kid in this program. So much of the work that they do is behind the scenes. Every once in a while, we're able to finagle one on stage to speak. And so Jason Walker, I'd like to invite you on stage, and he has some cool stuff, an announcement going on for you to hear.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm the Vice President of the Sun Prairie Band Boosters. I've asked for just a moment of your time to provide an update on this year's campaign. Thanks to the incredible generosity of our supporters in partnership with a significant donation via the Bernie Powers Band Foundation, we are excited to announce the successful completion of our Chuck Wagon Capital Campaign. Together we raised $45,000. This achievement wouldn't have been possible without the dedication of our donors, volunteers, and community partners. Your support is driving Sun Prairie's band forward, allowing us to safely support the students around the community, bringing music education alive. Our heartfelt thanks to everyone who contributed. The impact of your generosity will be felt for years to come. Stay tuned as we procure the trailer and widen access to music education. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we play our last tune, I just want to recognize one student who is performing with this group, but all year has been working with this group as my TA and really helping me stay organized. And probably the biggest job that she's done, we're a brand new high school, and so we have all of this music. And much of that music still needs to be labeled. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Much of the music in the beginning of the year needed to be labeled. And so kind of working and functioning almost as a librarian, making photocopies for students, doing just kind of odd jobs throughout the year has been Caitlin Truitt, who's been a TA for this band. And I want to recognize her, who's sitting in and playing as well tonight. So Caitlin, big round of applause for her. Our last piece with concert band is Critical Mass. I'm just going to say, hold on to your hat. Parents, if you can give us just a moment, we're going to get this band off stage and the next band on stage. thought you were going to play Memorize. Okay, a story. So there is a contingency of students in this band that love Holst's Planets. And if you don't know Holst's Planets, you've heard the music before, and it serves as inspiration for tons of movie music and especially Star Wars. Like John Williams almost took some things like verbatim from the planets. And probably the most common or one of the more popular movements is Mars, the bringer of war. And so there's a group of students that are like, Mr. McVeigh, we should play Mars, we should play Mars. But that music was originally written for orchestra, and I just really haven't found a great arrangement for band, particularly at this level. There's good arrangements for beginning band, but not quite to this level. Well, fast forward to February, March, and the composer that composed Ancient Light, sent out an email. This was a brand new piece. The Oregon State band had just performed it or was about to do a premiere, and I went ahead and listened to it, and I'm like, there's a lot of planets in that. There's some Mars in there. So I thought that would kind of be cool to do. And I believe that we're one of the first groups to do that post. I mean, it was written for the Oregon State Honors Band. They premiered it in March, and then we're playing it tonight. So Ancient Light, and it's meant to kind of play off this idea of the ancient light from galaxies and universes and pulsars and stars. Am I getting this right, Gwen? Yeah, all that stuff, like hitting us now, but really what we're seeing is really light years into the past. So that's Ancient Light. This next piece is entitled Dusk, and we've been doing some cool things in rehearsal with this piece. It's slow, it's lyrical, it's rubato, it kind of flexes a little bit, and I haven't been conducting it. I haven't been rehearsing, conducting it, and all of this has just been happening with students kind of taking leadership, taking charge, cueing certain things, and really existing with no conductor. And I think that's the goal in anything we're doing is to try to get young people, students, to be as independent as possible. So you'll see that right on stage. This is Stephen Bryant's Dusk, performed with no conductor. Everyone say hello to Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Metcalf has worked with our students in the past. He's actually working the concert. He's a killing timpani player. And that's a really, really great thing because we had a timpani player who unfortunately broke his pelvis, not playing timpani. Actually playing ultimate frisbee. So I'm really, really fortunate that when I talked to him today, like, hey, can we get you on timpani? And he's like, well, what piece? And I'm like, actually, I said, can you play percussion for us on a piece? And he's like, well, what piece? And I'm like, Vesuvius. And he's like, oh, yeah, I've played that. And I'm like, the timpani part? He's like, yep, I've done that too. So I'm like, yes, thank you, Evan. And so I'm super appreciative that he's playing with us. After this piece, these students will leave stage. We're going to welcome back seniors and do a senior song as a send-off to them. This is Frank DeKelly's Vesuvius. This is a huge work, and it's one of his more popular pieces. It's intended to kind of depict like the final days of the city of Pompeii, which they had built a city and a civilization on the base of a mountain. They thought it was a mountain. Turned out it was a volcano, which was unfortunate. It continues to be the world's biggest active archaeological dig now, and so much of what we know about the ancient Roman Empire is actually because of stuff that we've actually dug up in this site that was preserved under the ash of this volcano. So this is Vesuvius. Reset ourselves a little bit. B flat, please. We took time during our banquet today to talk about seniors, to talk about kind of their arc throughout high school, as well as kind of their individual journeys, which has been awesome. It's been super meaningful for me to be a part of this year's group as well. If you think about the last 4 years and what that has meant, what that's meant in our world, not only like from a world perspective, but also a Sun Prairie perspective, throughout their 4 years, there has been tremendous change. When you talk about all the different ways that the group behind me experience band, whether that be virtually, whether that be in tents, whether that be inside with masks and bell covers and spaced 6 feet apart, whether that be in the band room at East High School, what is now East High School, it wasn't East High School when they were there, here now for the last 2 years, every year has been so different for them, even going back to middle school. And it's been really, really cool to have them at the high school, to have them setting a standard and setting expectations here in this building as we've kind of existed for our first 2 years. And I think that it is a testament to kind of what they had to endure just to get to band, I mean, there is a point, there was like a year and a half that it was incredibly difficult to make music, and they have powered through and endured that and taken a lot of different paths. Some have continued the whole way, some of them actually stepped away from band and then came back, and I'm super excited that we get to send them off in what has been a Sun Prairie tradition to play The Water is Wide. We also do award the John Philip Sousa Award. This is a national award that high schools can give to one senior. It is actually voted on by the student body, and they take into consideration, who's been a leader in the program, they look at musicianship, those sorts of things. And so as I was reading, because I always ask students to not only vote, but also provide comments, and it's fascinating to me just the things that they pick up on and the things that they value, which I think is tremendous. This year's John Philip Sousa Award goes to a student that has been kind of a model in terms of excellence and participation in our band program. She has been involved in jazz ensemble, she's been involved in wind ensemble, she's been involved in state honors organizations. She has taken time to not only pursue and hone her craft as a trombone player, but also as a violin player as well. So I'm very, very excited to announce and award this year's John Philip Sousa Award to Gwen Severson. our class of 2024 band seniors. One more round of applause for them. I had a feeling something was up when you said stay on stage.
You didn't catch on to this by now? Okay. So to finish off this concert tonight, I was hoping to make this tradition. Our seniors last year did this. We have an amazing band program here, and it is all thanks to Mr. Davison and Mr. McVeigh. They are generally make the band program a safe place and a place that we go, even though we should probably be in class. But it's a place where we know we're welcome, and we know that we can go to talk, to hang out, to make music, obviously. All these seniors on stage can agree with me that Mr. McVeigh has made the biggest impact. For the longest time, Mr. McVeigh was the reason why I stayed in band. A couple years ago, I almost quit, and he was like, no, you're not going anywhere. You signed up for this, you're stuck, you're not going anywhere. And I can't thank him enough for what he's done. This is a scrapbook from the past 2 years, just with some notes that are from all of our seniors, and some pictures to kind of make you laugh a little bit.
Thank you all. Did you get
Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We do have a uniform return that occurs. That should work out really, really fast. So if you can just give us time to do that. And students, I really do hope that you brought a change of clothes. That will make it so much better. All right, thank you so much. Have a good night.